The lights slowly fade up on a simple cottage setting. It is nighttime. The crickets are chirping, and the dim glow of a fireplace can be seen. A woman is seen seated in a comfy chair, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. She appears to be young, perhaps her mid to late 20s, perhaps a bit older. She is knitting something as a spotlight slowly brightens on her. She hums to herself quietly as she knits. Soon, she finishes what she is knitting and holds it up. It is a pair of socks.
Ah, there we are. A nice pair of socks to warm my feet. Speaking of which, I better put a few more logs on the fire. It's starting to die down.
She walks over to a small pile of wood and takes 2 logs from it, then places it into the fireplace. She warms her hands briefly, then gazes at the pile of wood for a moment.
Goodness, the wood pile is getting low. I'll have to ask one of the local woodsmen to chop some more for me. Though at prices they ask for, I'm better off doing it myself.
She walks back over to her chair and sits down in it. Sadness finally overcomes her, and she sighs a lonesome sigh.
Ah, goodness me. If only, if only I had a family to share my life with. Don't get me wrong. I consider myself quite happy. But, gosh, sometimes things just feel so incomplete. Here I am, living alone, while other women my age already have husbands and children of their own. Gracious, am I destined to be alone forever? Will I be an old maid like one of my aunts is? A spinster. I hate to be negative and think the worst, but I've not met a fellow so much as looked at one in so long. I me.
She yawns a bit and relaxes deeper into her chair as she closes her eyes briefly.
Oh, goodness. Sometimes I forget how comfortable this chair is. I might not even make it up to the stairs to my bed. I could fall asleep right here, right now.
She nods off briefly as the lights dim on the stage. Slowly, almost soundlessly, we see a door that we presume leads to the outside world open. In walks a young boy of around 10 years of age. He has an innocent, almost ghostly quality and charm to his look and walk. He closes the door behind him carefully, then walks over to the woman, who is still asleep. The boy studies her silently for several moments, then smiles.
What was that?
Excuse me?
Oh my!
I'm terribly sorry, Mother. I didn't mean to wake you.
Oh, it's quite all right, dear. I suppose I should head off to bed. Who on earth are you? And did you just call me Mother?
I did.
Sweetie, I think you might be a bit confused. I'm not your mother. Are you lost? Do you need help finding your way back home?
Oh no, don't be silly. I am home. And you are my mother. Well, let me back up. This will be my home. And you will be my mother. Just not now. But soon, very soon.
Are you pulling a prank on me? Because I must tell you, sweetie, as adorable looking as you are, I don't find this amusing.
Oh, Mother, please don't be upset with me.
Stop that. Stop that at once, calling me mother. I'm sure your actual mother would be heartbroken to hear you call another woman that.
I have no other mother. That's just it. You're my mother.
Sweetie, This has quickly gone past being amusing and cute, and now it's becoming quite alarming. Now, if you please, tell me who you are and where you came from. Are you from the orphanage near town? Or do you perhaps come from a broken home and ran away from it? I can't think clearly in such a late hour. I'll make up a bed for you to sleep in, but rest assured, in the morning, you are going to tell me the truth of who you are and where you came from. And I'll be escorting you back to whatever place it might be.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Oh, is that so?
No, because I won't be here in the morning.
Sweetie, I'm not about to let someone so young just run off willy-nilly to possibly cause trouble in town. No, I'm putting my foot down. I will escort you.
I won't be anywhere in the morning. I will be gone, like a dream.
Sweetheart, I beg of you, stop talking in such a way. I won't hear another word about it.
Mother, why don't you believe me? Why do you think I'm crazy?
Because I'm not your mother, for heaven's sake. Not another word about this, or so help me, I shall escort you home or to the orphanage tonight.
There is silence. The woman sighs an annoyed sigh as she goes to gather a few blankets and pillows, presumably to make a bed for this boy. The boy sadly wipes his eyes of tears as he watches her.
You yelled at me. I didn't think you would yell at me. Not when Grandfather Malcolm and Grandmother Yeti raised you to be so kind.
What was that? What did you say?
Malcolm and Yeti, your parents, my future grandparents.
Those are their names, yes.
And you are an only child. You have no brothers or sisters. You went out on your own after your schooling ended. You got a job as a teacher at one of the local schools. It pays well, but you have no one to share with. At least not yet.
That's right. It's all true, but how did you?
I'm sorry that you're so sad right now, Mother. That you're afraid that you'll end up alone, like your Aunt Beatrice and Spencer.
How on earth do you know my Aunt Beatrice and my mother's sister?
Mother, say something.
You...
The woman walks over to the boy and gazes at him as the boy smiles even more. He slowly opens up his arms for a hug.
I've heard from many sources that you give the best hugs. I'll experience them soon enough. But may I trouble for you one for you now? As a teaser?
Oh, my Lord. My Lord in heaven,
The woman is overcome with emotion. She scoops the boy into a hug and he hugs her back. It is the loving, sweet hug of a mother and child. She gently collapses onto the chair with him, still in the hug, as she lets go and lovingly strokes his hair.
My boy. My sweet, precious boy.
Oh, Mother, you believe me now. I'm so happy.
I have so many questions. I can't even think straight.
I understand.
What is your name, sweetie? What will it be?
Oh, that hasn't quite been determined just yet. All I can tell you now is that I'm going to be a strong, happy, healthy boy. And that you'll name me after someone in your life that you care about a lot.
My father? My husband?
Possibly.
I just have to ask, who is it? Who will be your father be? My husband. Is it someone I know? Or is it a person I haven't met yet?
You've met him a few times, but haven't gotten to know him yet.
Goodness. Someone I know, but not fully. That doesn't narrow things down. There's a lot of men in town that I only know in passing.
Don't worry. It'll become clear very soon. In fact, at the very next social event that your schoolhouse has, the Harvest Social, you'll strike up a conversation with him there. He'll ask you to dance, and it will all just fall into place.
My goodness.
But you mustn't let on that I told you this. It must be a secret. You can't look to be expecting it. When Mr. Pangris approaches you to offer his hand to dance, you must act surprised.
Mr. Pengrass?
Oh, did I say too much?
Ambrose? Pengrass? Him? Goodness me, the town lawyer. He's so kind, proper, handsome. I believe his nephew is one of my pupils.
Correct. His father passed away a few years ago. Sadly, so Mr. Pangris took in his nephew and sister, the boy's mother.
That's right. My word. I'd be surprised you knew that. But then again, you've been spot on about everything else so far.
Mr. Pangris, he's admired you from afar 4 months now. And at the Harvest Social, he's finally going to have the courage to ask you to dance. Then, for a proper date.
The woman is overcome again. He begins to quietly sob as the boy, concerned, wipes her tears gently with his hand.
Oh, Mother, please, you mustn't cry.
These are happy tears. Not sad ones.
Oh, I certainly hope so. I know you feel lonely right now. But remember, soon, very soon, you won't be lonely anymore. You'll fill the last piece of the puzzle. Mr. Pangris will be with you always. And so will I. Just be patient a little bit longer. It's all coming very soon.
Slowly, the boy turns and walks a few steps back to the door. The woman gets up and hurries to him.
Oh, well, wait, where are you going?
I have to go for now, but only temporarily.
Please stay here, at least till morning. There is still so much I have to ask you, still so much I want to talk about.
I'm sorry, Mother, but time is of the essence. I promise. The wait won't be a long one. Sooner than you think. We'll be out this moment. I'll be 10 years old. You'll be my mother. I'll be your son. And I will love you with every beat of my heart. You'll be the greatest mother in the whole world.
You've made me the happiest woman alive. and you're not even born yet. Oh, darling, my son, I love you too. I'll run through the walls for you. I'll do anything for you.
I know. Believe me. I know. Or rather, I will know. Until then, Mother.
Until then, my son.
The boy goes out into the night. The woman races to the door to catch one last glimpse of him.
Gone? He's gone?
She shakily closes the door and, almost in a daze, goes back to her chair and sits.
That must have been a dream, but it couldn't be. He knew so much. Who Mr. Pengrass was, who my parents are, my job. There's no way a dream can get so much right.
She dries the last of the tears in her eyes and sits back in the chair, still trying to process what has just happened to her. Soon, she finds herself smiling. The anxiety and loneliness she first showed seems to have melted away. She now seems calmer, more content. She finally breaks her silence after several moments.
Ambrose Malcolm Pengrass Jr. That would be such a lovely name for a boy when I do have him. Until then, see you later, my little Ambrose, my sweet, wonderful son. And thank you.
She closes her eyes in another content sigh as the lights fade to black.